You do want to make sure that your head continues to be upright, and at most you're looking 10 to 12 yards in front of you. It looks like you might be looking too far at the horizon, so if you want to just lower your head just a little bit, it will help with your forward lean. With your shoulders and neck, you want to make sure that you're just remaining relaxed and you don't rotate while you're running. Now, if you look at your body position, it looks like you might be a little rigid. Just make sure that your shoulders remain fluid. However, there is not too much rotation, so it's good to see this. Continuing with the forward lean, you want to make sure that you're envisioning yourself running tall and like you're proud with your chest out. When we measure the toe off position, we start with where your flat-footed is, right before the toe off, and here you're about 6 degrees. Generally, you want to be around 5 to 10, so a little bit more lean will help. I know this is easier the faster you run, so focus on having that good position when you're running fast, but when you're warming up. Overall, it looks pretty good. The angle of the arm should be roughly between 80 to 90 degrees. And you make sure you want it to stay basically parallel to the ground. It's going to provide you rotational stability, and with the previous clip showing that you weren't rotating too much, the angle might be an issue. So as we go along, you can see your arm is around 80 degrees. That's perfect. But then you start to close up that angle, which is where you might have a tightened shoulders and you're not rotating so much. And then you hit 74 to 71, and then you begin to drop that arm down, and you're hitting back around where you need to be. Just keep in mind that you want to hit around 90 degrees. You also don't want your arm to go so far forward, in this clip right here, as you can see, and you don't want it to go too far back. So where your hand is, place them right there. That's perfect. That looks good. I mean, you don't want to have chicken wings either. Make sure that you're leading with your arms, and saying that may sound like it's forceful, but the harder and faster you're going to swing your arms, the faster your legs are going to go, especially true when you're going up a hill. And to do with your hands, make sure that you're grabbing your hands in a very relaxed grip, almost like you're holding a roll of dimes or quarters, and the thumb should rest on the forefinger, almost in a closed fist, but you want to feel like you're gripping a potato chip without trying to break it. So make sure you have a relaxed grip and drop the arms, and you'll be able to run a little bit faster. Quickly showing your hands from the front view, you can see the open grip that you have on your left hand. You want to make sure again that's closed, and you continually feel like you're holding a roll of quarters. On the right hand, you're holding a phone, and that's the metronome, so it's a little bit easier. But focus on closing those hands when you're running. The ideal range for your knee angles is less than 90 degrees, which allows you to know that you're not going to be overstriding. And looking the way you're running, you can see that's definitely the case. So as I slow it down, you can see less than 90, that's a great knee. But then you begin to overstride because you don't have enough lean and aren't keeping your leg bent as much. So you hit around 112 degrees, and that's where you can see you are overstriding. You want to make sure that you are less than, because with your leg out like that, you look like you're trying to stop yourself from running, and that's causing added stress to your joints, your knees, your ankles, but it's also causing you to slow down. You're working extra hard to propel off that leg. The foot off looks perfect, and when you look at that angle again, 114, you're back to right. That's good, and then overextension. Again, it just lets me know that your hips are tight. Make sure you do some hip flexor stretches, and that'll help you extend that hip range so your knee gets out slightly less than 90 degrees. When we look at the hip to knee angle, which is the rear extension, it's a rear movement of the leg, your ideal range wants to be in the 24 to 30, which means if you're less than this and you're at 16 degrees, you're going too vertical and you have tight hip flexors, which could also mean you've been spending a little bit too much time riding and not enough time running. But stretching your hip flexors is going to open up that leg, and again, is going to make that knee angle easier to manage and get to. Looking at your stride length, overstriding is definitely going to occur when your foot strikes the ground in front of your center of gravity or center mass. And as you can see, we start by drawing a line around the mid shin, and it should be going slightly behind your ears. But drawing the line straight up, you can see you're probably a good 6 to 7 inches behind where the line should be, which means you're not getting enough forward lean and you're overstriding. So make sure you shorten your strides, keep that cadence to 90. And if that's not easy for you, try working on a little bit higher, like 95, and then backing off to focus on shortening your stride. That's going to help. Overall, great technique. If anyone else out there is looking to get their run video analyzed, go visit our website.